welcome to the channel. I have two very special guests. Perhaps you have seen them if you have followed the fact that I've been on both of their channels a few times, and I have also posted a segment from being on Bonebridger's channel with Jon Automates. We have Bonebridger. It's so nice to have you here. And we have Jon Automates, and I will have both of their links to their channels in the description down below. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to talk about the Oppenheimer trailer. I saw it at the Guardians of the Galaxy viewing that I went to for the first time. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. We can start with you, Bonebridger, and then we'll hear from Jon.
So I think that this movie has really won me over. So I've been reading about it and like hearing about it, and like, I'll be honest, some Christopher Nolan movies I hate. Like I absolutely hate. Not to say he's a bad director in any way, but I just don't like some of his movies. I have never been more excited. Like I cannot be more excited for this movie. That last trailer, I want this movie to be 50 million hours long. Like, Jon, I don't know about you, but like, it's rare to be excited about a movie these days.
It's because of the style, but like how they're doing it is just, that's what you expect from Christopher Nolan, like how they're making the movie. We saw certain techniques used with like Interstellar. We saw several techniques used with most recently Tenet. And like you just start to see some of these things, but even with a lot of his historical stuff, Dunkirk is a good example, how he used sound and how he used imagery. It looks like we're getting that, but like on steroids. Like he's going all out, and you're gonna see like at least I feel like you're gonna see like a visual masterpiece, and that's what's like really exciting, because it screams good, solid filmmaking while trying new ideas, and that I think that's the real allure of Christopher Nolan.
Yes, and I think the cast is just phenomenal for this, and I love the fact Cillian Murphy's worked with him so many times. Past, and I feel like Nolan was like really wanting to for years make him the lead of one of his movies. And you're so right, Jon, especially about the I think it's like always like such a visually striking image that you'll see throughout his films, and that's definitely clear to me within this trailer that just came out. Have you guys noticed that in the trailer they kind of flash back and forward to like the black and white and the I guess the present day? I'm still trying to I guess the black and white is the future of what the outcome was from the historical events that happened. What do you guys think about that type of style choice?
That's what I thought they were gonna do, at least for the trailer too. I was like, is this, because I think the movie's supposed to cover not like everything, but like most of his life. And so I think they're going to do that kind of. And then I think about Nolan and how he likes to use time and everything. So I'm thinking like, oh, they're going to jump forward a little bit. They're going to jump back a little bit, flashbacks maybe. And you're right, with like the star power, I think Emily Blunt plays his wife, right? Like I think there's that. Matt Damon's in the movie. Robert Downey Jr. is in the movie. Florence Pugh is in the movie. Rami Malek. Like there's actual people who have pulled and done well in a lot of these movies. And so I'm assuming a lot of them are going to play different people as he encounters them through his life. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, the cast on this is amazing. Only Nolan can get these people, because I think that the thing that's going to really come out about this is, so you just had this Fast and Furious 10 movie. Okay, I enjoyed it, but it is what it is. It is dumb, fun, whatever. But the budget approached 400 million-ish, marketing, all this craziness. Oppenheimer is not that expensive, especially when you consider its real effects, but it's not that expensive when you consider Robert Downey Jr. was $40 million a movie at the end of his Marvel run. So to get him, it's because he wants to be in a Christopher Nolan movie, which is awesome to see, because that means they actually care about like their performance. My thing I would ask you guys is, if we're predicting awards out, when the year started, I would have told you Scorsese's Flower Moon, because of what it's about, was a lock for everything. But now this seems like it's going to really challenge them on every front. I don't know how he doesn't win Best Picture, our Best Actor, just based on his performance in the trailer, let alone 3 hours of him playing like one of the most important people to ever live.
Oh, that's a really great point. I think this is going to be a really fun Oscar season for sure. And you're right about Killers of the Flower Moon. That is definitely a front runner. Oppenheimer as well. Todd Haynes has a new film coming out that just premiered at Cannes, and I believe it's called May December. I could be totally screwing that title up, but there's been really positive buzz around that film. It's funny with Nolan, Tenet, that airplane being blown up scene. They found out it was cheaper, because you were talking about the cost for Oppenheimer. It was cheaper to just blow up a real plane. So there's actually a YouTube video on my saved for like watch later. And it's the title is When Directors Go Too Far. And the thumbnail is so funny because it shows Nolan and like the nuclear bomb. And it's like he like joking like he actually just did a nuclear bomb for the film.
They did go to the same place though, didn't they? Like they
same
went to the
place, same desert, used an explosion, and they tried to make the explosion look the same way it would look. And then they modified it from what they had. Like, of course, you have to modify it a little bit. But.
I mean, is that going too far, or is that what you have to do these days? Like it almost kind of leads to that kind of question.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of mind-boggling now when we went through so many decades of figuring out CGI, incorporating it differently in films, and now so many times it is cheaper to just do the practical effect than to do CGI, especially because we have such high standards for CGI now. So you do really have to have people put in those hours and pay them properly. Do you guys think you're going to see it opening weekend? Are you thinking maybe like opening night, or you'll wait a bit?
I'll see it that opening weekend for sure. I don't know if I'll see it opening night, because those tickets tend to be pricier for everything, and but I think this is going to be one of those, if you can get into one of those theaters that like has really good sound systems, and by now we know which theaters are which when it comes to that, or even kind of like the D-Box kind of theater that has it like in your chair, I think that's going to be one hell of an like, in fact, that's probably what I'm going to look for, rather than just like your standard theater. I think it won't capture the kind of almost like gravitas that like that kind of theater would.
Yeah, I thought this year that Dune would be the only movie that I would need to see in the theater, because if you don't see it in a theater, I think it really, like, that experience is important with the sound and everything. But this is even more so. I wonder how this even holds up outside of the theater. I'm not that it would be necessarily bad, but there's going to be a level of, like, you can see it in the trailer. He does that sound editing style where he's using something that sounds like just like Hans Zimmer style effects, but then it's like the lights turning on. What you're hearing is the lights on the field before the explosion. They're turning on one by one, and that's that sound clicking, and it's music, but it's not. I think that's important to see. This will be the one that, like, I bet it will be a full theater, and that's pretty amazing for what it is. I mean, for this movie to do well, like that's going to be impressive.
Well, you also got to like piggyback off of it too, because if I'm correct, he's working with the same woman who edited Tenet, and he's also working for like with the same group who did, I think, like his last 6 or 7 movies. Like he works with the same. I mean, Nerdy Film Go, you already said it. Like it's not just actors and actresses who he works with constantly. He works with the same people, and so I think when you have that team, it kind of reminds me of like a fighter, like a boxer of some sort, who like keeps that same team from when he first started to all the way to champion and beyond. Like, and that's been shown that helps people like that. Like for, I don't know, like it's crazy to even think about it. Like, yeah, you want to switch out sometimes, you want to get better, you want to do this and that. And I feel like Nolan, instead of doing that, he allows the people he works with to kind of get better and then uses their new skill sets and talents. That doesn't happen as frequently as we would like to see. Even the MCU doesn't do that, and they are the ones who have the kinds of budgets. They switch out people almost immediately on the fly. Nolan keeps his team tight, and I think that helps greatly.
Yeah, and it shows also how devoted these actors are to him.
Yeah,
it's not like a David O. Russell where I keep even hearing now scandals about working with him on set and being an abusive director. So it's there's such a respect, I feel like, that the actors have for Christopher Nolan, and it's fantastic. I'm really excited to see it. I thank you both for joining me, and I can't wait to discuss this after we all see it at the movies.
Of course.
So thank you, everyone. Again, both of their links will be in the description down below. And thanks for stopping by.